Mindset on its own won't fix your trauma, but learning how to be safe, it will help you to overcome it. There is a beautiful words by Dr. Gabor Mate, and he says, trauma is not what happens to you, it's what happens inside of you. Many people, what they're not realizing, what they're doing, they actually stashing the trauma or whatever experiences in their life gave them underneath the mat, or put it in a black box somewhere, stash it down deep in your body. But guess what? You can forget about it, but your body will remember. So there is a client that I spoke to yesterday, and as I am coming from a swimming background as a coach, I asked her like a couple years ago, why don't you want to swim? And she said, I don't want to get my hair wet. I was like, okay, but this is just an excuse. What's really behind this? So yesterday I had a conversation with her, and what really happened in this conversation, I've asked her, why you are so reluctant towards swimming? And she didn't say anything. She said she likes the water. But I said, okay, wait a second, tell me about your trauma from the past. And she then said that, you know what, when I was a child, someone dragged me underwater, and as a child you're thinking, oh my God, what's happening? This is the end of my life. And then I said to her, okay, but also besides from this, is there anything in your mother's line that she or maybe someone else experienced? And she said, you know what, there is something that happened with her mom as well, but we're working on this, so let's wait. And there is two possible things that her body will remember, because what you have to understand, you might forget about the trauma, but your body, your nervous system won't forget. And you can get triggered from something that you don't have even idea about. So let me tell you my story. Last year when I was in Bali, I saw this woman that she was doing some kind of water therapy, and I had no idea what it was, but it really attracted me. So what I learned, it was something called Watsu. And Watsu, it's a technique where you are feeling kind of comfortable floating on the water, but they also submerge you under. And think about this like a water therapy kind of massage, because you're ultimately relaxing your mind, your body, and your soul as well. But that therapy, it goes a little bit deeper, and it kind of triggers trauma. So what happened with me, as I'm coming from the swimmer background, when she was submerging me underwater, I was gasping for air, and she goes to me after 5 minutes, just spending time with me, not knowing anything about me. She asked me, tell me about your trauma. And I said, look, I didn't have ever bad experience with the water. I've learned when I was like kind of young, but then I've learned properly how to swim. And then I was actually coaching swimming for some time, which became like my passion. But after that, when I left her, it was really sitting and lingering in my mind. And I thought to myself, what could like have this kind of outcome, that I was just kind of terrified. And then I've realized my uncle died, and he died because he had a secondary drowning. It was an unfortunate accident. Someone pushed my uncle in the water, and they revived him. He was fine, but little did they know over there that secondary drowning is real, and he actually died the next day. And my mom at the time, she was 18. Mind you, I wasn't born, obviously. Then my mom, she was carrying this grief within her for like 50 plus years. So what happened, I've called my mom and I said to her, like, listen, tell me about this grief that you're holding still. Like, how are you feeling? Like, what's your emotions towards all this incident that happened? And she said, you know what, I never worked on this, and I never thought about it. And I said, well, it's been passed from my mother onto me. So what happened next? Me and my mom, we spoke. I've helped her to heal this. So she was telling me for this 50 years, whenever she was going to the graveyard, she was still grieving, heavily grieving, because she said that she sees and she feels like she's in this dark room and everything is dark, and she feels this heaviness on her chest. I said, that's your trauma, and I understand that I'm carrying this right now. And then we've worked on this, so everything is fine. So going back to my client, what happened is that she didn't feel safe because, first of all, like all the teachers, they were changing and she couldn't build a trust within them. And the second part is there is not many people that they will actually understand what they're doing. So as for me, my approach would be completely different towards someone who had a trauma in the water. They have to feel safe and they have to trust you. That's the most important thing. But also to trust you, you have to be able to open up to that person and tell them your real problem. And they have to understand that. They have to sit with this and create the safe space. If this is not met, then forget about it. You're not going to all of a sudden beautifully learn to swim. So what we decided that we're going to work on her mindset and on her trauma in order for her to actually learn how to swim, that she's going to be in a safe space. This is something that not many people really talk about it. This is something that is really dismissed, but that's where the true coaches, swim coaches, come in place. If they really make you feel safe in that environment and they're just not doing schematic work. If you feel like you're going through something like this, speak to somebody, because your body is going to remember and your body is actually going to tell you whether there is something triggering you. Maybe it's worth looking into, because that might be your unresolved trauma from the past that you forgot about, but it's manifesting in your body and your nervous system will know better than you. Good luck.